originally the house was fully empty. And there was a concern, I think, that we had that it's going to feel like something bad happened to Dina, and we don't want to make it feel like it's...
Right.
That's the thought in her head. It's more, Dina has made that choice to move back.
She had to move back, too. She couldn't stay there alone with a baby. It was too dangerous.
But I do think there's something poetic in, like, she didn't take Ellie's things with her.
Yeah.
There wasn't a, I'm waiting for you, I'm going to build her home.
behind.
It's I'm letting this,
Letting it go.
this die, here. And I'm going to let everything rot for you.
Well, that's really bleak.
Yeah, we wanted to create a metaphor for the unintended consequences of pursuing justice at any cost. And here we get to feel it of the song that means so much to Ellie, she just can't play it anymore. Also interesting thinking about Joel's headspace right now, like just been humiliated by Ellie in front of everyone. Who knows what's going through his head, but for me, sometimes when I get just filled with anxiety, it's guitar. It's just sitting down and just jamming and just...
Yeah, not even playing a song, just playing through something.
And we've had this scene at different spots of the game until we finally landed. It's this final moment.
Yeah, I think originally we were going to put it before the midpoint showdown of the game.
Right.
Oh, it plays so much better at the end.
Yeah, no,
It does.
now you can't imagine it anywhere else
Yeah.
once it's here.
¿Qué tomas?
Traded his soul for coffee.
¿De dónde salió?
De las personas que vinieron la semana pasada.
I would do the
Me
same.
avergüenza un poco decir lo que tuve que dar.
This is the most Ashley has ever pushed
No
back
está mal.
on a scene.
Wait,
Really?
Which this was because originally it was written that they hug at the end of this scene, and you're like, I don't know if they would. I'm not sure like we could get all the way there. You were a sport about it, and we did two versions, one with a hug, one without a hug, and they were both very, very good. But ultimately, you were right. They're starting to forgive each other, but they're not fully there. Ultimately, makes it more tragic.
Yeah. I think that's why she goes on this journey, because it's just like it was never solved. Our relationship was never fixed.
Dina. ¿Ella es tu novia?
No. No, ella solo fue un beso. No significa nada, solo... No sé por qué lo hizo.
Entonces te gusta.
They just have like a father-daughter moment. Just this
Yeah.
exchange about this crush that she has on this other girl, and Joel telling her like she would be lucky to have you. Again, he has unconditional love for Ellie, and that's what drives her mad. It'd be so much easier if he was
If
just
he
a
was
complete
just-
piece of shit.
Oh,
Then
yeah.
you could just forget about him,
Yeah.
but you can't.
I mean, that's what's hard. I mean, she knows that he cares, and she knows that he does love her.
Tenía que morir en ese hospital.
I also love that you
Mi vida
bring it back
había
to,
importado.
we're talking around the thing that we need to talk
Pero
about.
tú me lo quitaste.
And you doing all of these gestures to try to make it better is not what I want. I'm going to bring it back to what the issue is, and that's I should have died in that hospital.
I also love watching. When do you both decide to make eye contact?
Oh, right. Interesting.
And it's like right here for watch at the end of this statement for emphasis. All eye contact. Because I am dead serious. I don't care the cost. I would do it all over again, even if it means I'd lose you.
There is something to be said for your writing in this, which is, I would do it all over again, and I would do it all over again. Walk the knife's edge of meaning, because there's one that is repentant and there is one that is resolute.
Solo... no creo que pueda llegar a perdonarte.
Like this false moment. I can never forgive that. And he's ready to accept it. And then he's all of a sudden, but I'd like to try. And then I think the waterworks for everyone
Yeah.
just start right here.
Oh.
We did a lot of work of just writing these scenes and not being heavy-handed to talk about theme, but there is something about just the placement of the scene here. And it's a scene about getting over some horrible transgression that one feels. Because there's other things that are worthwhile in this world than just kind of living in this resentment next to the moment where Ellie decides to let Abby go. And whether she fully forgives her or not almost doesn't even matter. It's just she knows there's other things in life that are more worth putting your focus on. It's interesting seeing since the game has come out. It's been out for a few years now. How many different interpretations there are for this leaving of the guitar here. Whether it's she's fully forgiven Joel, or whether she's fully forgiven Abby, or whether she's willing to move on, or whether she just doesn't want to be under Joel's shadows anymore. And when people always I don't know if you get this often, people often come to me and they want the answer. They're like, which one is it? And I'm like, it's all those things. It's all those things in some way. Like people's minds are so complicated.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's what we've been talking about with grief and how that can sort of manifest in somebody.
I'll caveat by saying this is my own interpretation. And it doesn't mean that it's right. It's just mine. But sometimes you have so many triggers for trauma that you just need to let anything that might trigger you, you just have to let it go and start over.
I mean, how I felt in that moment of it's easier just to not get close to people.
We know when we were writing this, we had so many conversations about leaving it on a hopeful note. And even though it's very dark, I do find it to be a hopeful note. It's left with that question of once you've committed all these atrocities yourself, can you come back from that? And we saw that Joel was able to. And then maybe Ellie could as well.
No puedes detener esto.